welcome here. Welcome all. I got some water.
I have this no sugar lemonade iced tea. It is.
I love that it says swoon.
Swoon. It is sweet from monk fruit. But I'm Lorrie.
Monk fruit.
That's monk fruit.
What up? I'm monk fruit.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, welcome to the chaos.
Welcome to the chaos. Ow, I hit my tooth.
How was your week? How was your week, Lorrie?
Aside from hitting my tooth on this cam. Yeah, I had my anniversary with Charlie.
Oh my god!
It was Thursday. It was August 10th.
Yeah.
It was August 10th. Leave me alone.
Happy anniversary!
Not like
How
I
was
forgot.
that?
I mean, we're not together this year, so we had a date. I asked her out on a date. Guys, even if you're dating, still ask your partner on dates.
1,000 and million %. People.
And yeah, we did a FaceTime. Well, we were on Discord, but we did a video call and we ordered in. We ordered at the same time together so that we would get our food together. We kind of just played. It was kind of chill. We just played video games together, but then we also watched this movie. It's like a comedy. It's queer. It's this Chinese movie called Marry My Dead Body. I'm just gonna read the synopsis because I don't know if my explanation is gonna be very good. It's gonna just sound. It already is kind of ridiculous, but it is a comedy, so it is very silly.
Okay.
Wu Minghan, a straight policeman who is homophobic and ghost-phobic, keep that in mind, accidentally picks up a red wedding envelope while collecting evidence. He finds himself betrothed to the envelope's owner, Mao Pengyu, a gay man who died under mysterious circumstances. The duo must work through their differences and join forces to solve the case, seeking justice for Mao. So basically, he gets ghost married. It's this lady who basically felt bad that, just felt terrible that her grandson passed away before he could get married. And he was gay, obviously. And they were finding someone that he could be married to. And basically his spirit, his ghost, is, still there with unfinished business. And they're trying to, figure that out. And there's, a whole crime thing that happens that's connected to how he died. And they're trying to solve it together. The effects are a little cheesy at parts. But, I wasn't expecting much for it. But because it's a comedy and it's very cheeky, I thought it was really funny. Me and Charlie were laughing a lot at it. And it had a lot of little cute parts, too. And like I said, there was a part kind of near the end that her and I were just my eyes are wet. Oh. So I thought it was a cute movie.
What streaming platform is it on?
It's on Netflix, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Yeah.
Hey,
so
cute.
There's a little movie you can watch. It's cute. I think it's cute. Then you're not. That's
anything
why
queer.
That's why you're not prepared for the emotional parts, because then you're like, thought this was funny.
I'm here for a little rom-com situation, always. Okay, always.
But yeah, it was
so
cute.
Overall cute anniversary.
Yeah, it was cute. We had a fun time doing that, and we just stayed on video chat for a while, just talking, playing games and stuff. It was pretty chill, but I just wanted to see her for our anniversary. You and I actually will see her in 25 days.
Aww, the countdown.
Yeah, it's right there. You see it?
You need a countdown. You need a countdown for the LDRs.
Well, 2 months was also the longest we've been apart, so.
Yeah, it's been a long time, hasn't it?
Yeah, so.
That's tough.
We'll be in California with Melissa.
Oh my god.
I just talked
my first time over there
to the Bay Area.
In the hood. That hood.
I talked to my mom the other day too, and she was like, "Okay, what foods do you want me to make? I gotta make a list."
I I'm so fucking excited. Today I kind of made a bootleg version of chicken adobo, but I'm gonna gain so many pounds over there.
You're only gonna be there for like 5 days. It's fine.
You don't come on, Lorrie. You know how I eat.
Yeah, but we also can just walk around the hills of San Francisco if you want. It's an easy workout. They're hills.
Do that for real?
They're fat hills though.
Do I really want to do that?
I don't know if you've really been on the fat hills of California.
Nah. I have never. I've never been. No, because like
San
I've only
Francisco,
visited like, you know.
When people visit, they're aware that it's on hills, but then they're not really aware of the hills. We're not gonna walk all the way. I want to
get on a trolley.
You want to do the touristy thing? We can get on a trolley. We'll do it. I don't think
Charlie's just the trolley.
I don't think Charlie's been on one. We can catch a trolley. We have to catch it in like the financial district.
I feel like I need to do it. You know what I mean?
I did take one to work once.
Just that one touristy.
Work. It was more I was getting a tour of like another studio during work, and me and my coworker were just like, "You want to take the cable car?" And we're like, "Yeah, why not?"
Okay, they're called the cable cars, not trolleys. That's like a touristy thing to say, right? The trolley.
I feel like trolleys are maybe a different country.
Oh,
maybe that's like European or something. Yeah, but I've never called them. They're just cable cars. The San Francisco cable car.
Okay, I definitely got that from like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood or something like that. I don't know.
But California girls. Just kidding.
And we'll be there for Oakland Pride.
Yeah, we're gonna go to Oakland Pride. I know Pride for most places are done, but Oakland always has it in the fall. Well, I guess it's the fall. Well, like end of summer kind of situation.
End of summer, yeah.
Yeah, it's always like September. Right. So I never really knew why, but yeah. So we'll go to Oakland Pride. We're gonna go to Jasmine's Wholesome Ho show.
Yes,
Jolene's.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Oh my gosh.
But yeah. Sorry, I just went off on a rant. How was your week?
Nah, it's cool. It's cool. My week was fine. Hanging out with my booski a lot. But we went to the beach on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, on a Wednesday. Oh yeah, but you were like, I'm gonna bring my laptop just in case.
Absolutely, I sure did. But it was a nice time. What else? This past weekend, we went to like this restaurant called Parm in the city. Oh my god, so good.
Parm?
If you haven't been. Parm. Mm-hmm. There's different locations, but there's one that I went to in like Soho. I'm sure you have. They got world famous garlic bread.
Everything is world famous in New York. I feel like.
I know. Everything is world famous, but like this garlic bread was actually pretty elite.
It might make my tummy hurt though.
Oh, because you can't eat garlic.
Well, not necessarily. I just can't like have the excess amounts that most Filipinos eat anymore. Like I have some, but the last time that I made a garlic bread and I like roasted the garlic and everything and made like a spread and stuff, I have got a little
made your tummy hurt.
I got a lot of gas.
Damn. Oh my god, that sucks.
I developed that definitely as I got older.
But anyways,
moving on to our topic for the day.
Moving on to our topic for today's. Following the nostalgia from last episode of the toys that made us, or the toys that impacted us, I thought we would talk about some of the childhood TV shows that impacted us. Queer or not.
Yeah, I mean, things that, I guess more like, when you look back on it, it was very telling how you as a person are, but maybe when you were younger, you didn't realize that you were that way. I mean, including like queerness, like, thinking about stuff that I watched and like thought about, I was like, oh, that's pretty gay.
Yeah.
And how did I not realize? Like, when I was younger.
Exactly. I have a good list here.
I did not make a list, but I'm going to riff off of you. So.
All right. So I feel like I have like things in different categories because I was always a binger. I always watched TV. Like I was an indoor kid. I was always watching TV, and like back then we had cable, so everything went. You know, I just put on the TV and I was like, okay, I'm definitely gonna watch this. Ever since I was a little kid, so I kind of want to start off like from when we were super super young, like some like cartoons and like you know Nick Jr. shit or like
Do you remember Face?
PBS Kids shit. Yes, of course.
Oh my god, okay. He would always
I actually
introduce
loved
Nick
Face.
Jr. I know, he was funny.
I liked
He
him,
liked
but you know,
Face.
I felt like some kids were scared of Face just because you know he was just a face.
Yeah, but it was just like little cartoony eyes.
But it was cute.
If it was more real,
was
like actual
cute.
eyeballs, I would be freaked out by it. But he was just little eyeballs and a mouth.
Do you think that Face was non-binary?
Totally.
Right? They gave
Face
me
is literally just
like,
a face,
non-binary
but since
vibes.
they're just
It's
eyes
just a
and a
face.
mouth, I mean, come on.
I don't know. They had like a male-ish voice. I remember.
Yeah, but they're, you know, it sounded like your teacher when you were really young, just very upbeat.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna watch Roly Poly Oly. Wait, that's the wrong network. That's Blue's Clues. There you go.
Blue's Clues. Yeah. Next up, Blue's Clues.
You know.
So I have here. Do you remember Cyber Chase?
No.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So Cyber Chase was like, I feel like it kind of leaned towards like the educational show, like the Magic School Bus, which is another one on my list.
Yeah, same.
Where like 3 kids would go off on like scientific adventures and like solve mazes and puzzles and stuff like that. It was always on like around a certain time. But Cyber Chase was like one of those shows for me. I really loved educational shows when I was younger. Anything like science-y, like
I watched a lot of like Bill Nye and Magic School Bus a lot.
Me too.
Bill. I mean,
So
our internet at home is called Bill Y the Science Fi, so.
That's good. That's so good.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So if I'm thinking really young, I watched Bear in a Big Blue House.
Of course.
I feel like I liked all the cute shows where it's just like they're all friends being friends.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah, like that was definitely like a Disney Channel show too.
Yeah.
And Big Bear in the Blue House would go on really early in the morning too.
Okay, I don't know how as children we all just woke up really fucking early. That's why
just woke up early.
Saturday morning cartoons was a thing. Because I woke up early. Also, we did used to in elementary school, we used to go to school at like 7:50 in the morning. That's insane.
We were up so early.
Now I could barely get to work on time.
Dude, sometimes I remember being up before the sun rose. Like,
so crazy.
Why am I waking up so early? It was ridiculous.
No, I've never seen this show,
ridiculous.
Cyber Chase, by the way.
Oh my god. It was such a good show. Like, I loved it. It was so fun. Yeah. I think I remember mentioning Zoom to you, but I don't think I remembered Zoom either.
I didn't see that either.
Yeah. Zoom was like one of those like cool like sketch educational shows. But like a sketch show but for like kids, like teens, preteens. It was a fun one. I also just like the other cartoon shows, like you saying Big Bear in the Blue House also reminded me of Little Bear. Do you remember Little Bear?
Yeah, I watched Little Bear. Roly Poly Oly, when I said that earlier, I did watch that show.
Yeah.
Roly Poly
Yeah.
Oly. PB and
Roly
J
Poly
Otter.
too, yeah. Oh, I don't know that one.
These little guys?
Oh my god, no.
Oh, man.
I don't remember.
I reference the noodle dance all the time, and most people understand that reference, so I'm surprised that I've met someone who hasn't. There you go.
How strange.
You a show that you didn't watch, and me a show that I didn't watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How weird.
They just always had this little... Again, it's another, like, siblings and friends, you know. They always do a dance when they're trying to think of a thing to do. They go, noodle, use your noodle. do the noodle dance.
I
It's
feel
like
like
that. They say it all the time.
like noodle is really familiar to me. Like that is really familiar to me, but I don't remember these characters. Maybe I just remember the song and not these characters all that much.
I watched Out of the Box a lot.
Out of the box. Out of the box.
The woman who's in that show was my friend Robin's, like, I guess, like a music teacher, I think, when she was younger.
That's so cool. Yeah. I love those two. I feel like they were just kind-hearted people. I just felt like they were so sweet.
You know what? When I look back on it too, when we were really talking about these shows that I didn't, because I feel like it affected us in a way that maybe we didn't realize. And when I'm looking back on that show, the hosts were an Asian and a black host that I'm not gonna lie, I feel like in the 90s, as maybe some people might say woke, but in the 90s I felt like we were a little more diverse with stuff, because I feel like TV shows back then, like, I mean, In Living Color and Girlfriends,
that's on my list.
And like Queen Latifah was all over the TV, and there were shows with her, and then there's Out of the Box. I just felt like there was actually a lot of POC people involved in TV, and I'm not gonna lie, somehow it became less. I mean, we're starting to slowly come back again, but it's so weird because I felt like we grew up with a lot. So, like, Out of the Box was like Disney, wasn't it? So, and now looking back on it, seeing this Asian lady and this black guy, like, it was kind of cool to me because, like, she was like this little Asian lady, and I was just like, I love, she sings, you know, I'm from a Filipino family, and I was just like, oh, this is fun, you know? And
yeah.
And I always loved them. They're like my favorite hosts. They always seem so nice. Yeah, I just felt like
it was true.
I really feel like the 90s was more diverse in a lot of ways, even if obviously like a lot of prejudices and racism still like obviously still exist. It has existed for forever at this point, and even a lot in the 90s. But I do feel like somehow it was a lot more diverse back then. Because I felt like the shows in the 90s in those terms were like really cool, because I felt like there was representation that people didn't realize. Since some of us, like people in our age, were like younger. We just watched them because we watched them.
Yeah.
I mean,
we didn't really think.
Even like with Fresh Prince. Fresh Prince was like, you know, one of the biggest shows, and all those other shows. It was crazy.
Also on my list. Yeah. Piggybacking off of that, I feel like maybe the way we grew up, like what we saw when we grew up, there was like more representation than ever, just because there wasn't that much before. So like maybe like 70s TV, 80s TV, there wasn't as much. And then I feel like the decade that we grew up in, like that just started like coming up. So like, yeah, it's like you said, Girlfriends, like I Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Family Matters,
Moesha,
Moesha. Yeah, Moesha was another one. I just feel like all of those, in Living Color was kind of wild because it was one of those sketch shows that was mostly black.
I have it on DVD somewhere. Like a collection.
Yeah, it was everything. Like I loved it. Like I watched SNL and In Living Color like at the same time, and I feel like SNL was white mostly.
I mean, I still like SNL.
Living Color was black.
For sure.
Me too.
I loved both shows. I do have In Living Color like a box set somewhere in here. And then there was like other shows that are a little more adult, and maybe I didn't understand them as well. Like Living Single, which Friends was also around the same time too. Which, even though I do love Friends, at the same time it is a very white cast. And then Living Single was kind of the similar story.
It was, it was.
Yeah, but still a pretty diverse set of shows, you know. I definitely watched Moesha. Well, now we moved on from the kids show. Sorry, we might just be hopping back and forth. Fine. I don't know if I'll be able to. My brain's gonna go everywhere. Moesha, Sister. I mean, we watched Twitches, so I mean,
Of
You gotta bring up
course.
sister,
Of course.
sister.
We got sister. We got smart guy.
Smart
Like,
guy. Smart.
you know
He's
what I
a
mean?
smart
That's so
guy.
Raven. Yeah, like it's. I feel like I think I enjoyed watching shows with a good, well, seemingly good family.
Yeah, seemingly.
I think,
I mean, on television,
you
for the
know,
most part.
on television, TV, like a cool TV family, because I loved the family in Fresh Prince.
Mhm.
Like I loved Family Matters. I so loved Family Matters, and like how, like, you know, freaking the Winslows were, and like how, like, together and like, and just as a unit they were so in sync. I hate to say this, and I know maybe like the main person in this show is
Cosby
canceled.
Show?
Maybe I feel like, I mean, well, no, I wasn't gonna say that,
Oh.
but the Cosby Show is another one that I enjoyed a lot. But
I know.
Seventh
A lot of
Heaven.
stuff. Oh, I never watched Seventh Heaven, but this guy on TikTok is like rewatching them. I implore you to rewatch it, and because it's
Listen.
kind of wild. And
I know it. I know it is. I know it is, because I have seen other people sort of like look back into Seventh Heaven and see how insane it was.
It seems insane. I never watched it.
Because it really was. It really was. Like, looking back at like some of the episodes, when I think about that, I'm like, wow. I will say this: it was like based on this Christian family.
It's super religious, right?
The father was a pastor.
Didn't he get arrested though for like later on in life? Or yeah, the guy who always does the rewatch ones, every time he talks about the dad, he's like, shouldn't you not be 100 feet near a school? Like, he'll make like little comments every time he has to talk about the father, and it just makes me laugh every time.
Yeah, man. I used to watch that show a lot. And I know the theme song by heart. Heaven, when I like, I could just go off. But that's another show that I watched because, you know, so I thought the family was just like so, like, I also always wanted 1,000 siblings, and I feel like I watched a lot of shows that
I didn't
had so many siblings.
I had siblings, and then I watched things with siblings, and I'd be like, yeah, no. I mean, it kind of just really seemed like my family. Like, you love each other and you're generally nice to each other, but also you can be such dicks to each other. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much correct. Yes, I grew up with 3 siblings.
I guess I just I feel like I just really wanted. I always wanted a sister, and like I always wanted like just like more people around in the house. I just like liked how together a family looked on TV.
Yeah,
it always made me smile.
It gave me some comfort, and I think it gave other people comfort to see these like happy families. But I also feel like what we didn't realize as we grew up, it almost gave us this unrealistic expectation of what we wanted a family to be, and then and so that's maybe a negative effect of the things like we watch. Maybe it made us believe one thing, but when those things didn't happen, it kind of just like made your life feel a lot different and
a lot less, maybe.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
less validated.
As much as I want to talk about like the effects it had on us in like a fun or positive way, but there are things I realized that as I got older that also maybe weren't cool for everybody, you know. So that's maybe like a little downside of it, but
yeah, for sure, there was some downside of it. And like, you know, TV back in the day wasn't all very accurate, you know, or realistic. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, yeah, most shows in general. I mean, I enjoyed Sister because I thought they were funny and like had like this relationship that was just really silly and their parents and stuff.
Yeah.
And then let's see, what other shows? Do you remember Famous Jet Jackson? Unfortunately, I think the actor had passed away.
Passed away.
Mm-hmm. But I love that show too. Another POC show.
I like that show.
Cousin Skeeter. Mm-hmm. Which was a fucking puppet.
Cousin Skeeter was good.
It was such a silly concept, but very funny and silly.
Hold on, Cousin Skeeter. Was Lil Romeo in that or no?
No. Lil Romeo had his own show.
Lil Romeo had his own show, right?
Mm-hmm. Called Romeo.
I watched that one too.
Which
I watched
also
Romeo
had his
too.
dad in it. Master P was in it. I definitely watched that
Yeah.
too. Remember when Little Romeo was a thing?
Little Romeo had his moment.
He had his moment.
He had the moment. He was the moment for a while.
He was so young.
Shout out to Romeo.
He was so little and
He
young.
was.
When he was
yeah, so tiny. Like Lil Bow Wow and Lil Romeo.
Yeah. I felt like Lil Romeo was even more little though. He was littler.
Yeah, he was littler. He was tiny. A tiny thing.
Yeah, I remember that being a thing. And I think we've talked about this too, about like cartoons and stuff that we had grown up with. I think, let's see, a lot of Disney stuff. I watched all those like Disney cartoons that were based off the movies. So I watched the Little Mermaid series, the Hercules series, Timon and Pumbaa series. They had all of those little series.
Whoa.
Oh, I love Timon and Pumbaa.
I watched those.
And I love
the
Little Mermaid show was when they had Gabrielle, who was like a black mermaid, which is also why I'm like, there are black mermaids. God damn it.
I didn't even know these shows existed.
There's another one
Oh my god, it had 3 seasons. That's crazy.
Yeah, they're all very funny. They were just little spin-offs of the movies and very silly time. And those always made me laugh. They were always like kind of comedies.
Yeah.
So they were always fun. Those are the ones that I really liked. And then, oh man, I really did wish I made a list.
Did you ever watch Recess?
Yes.
Recess was another one that I really enjoyed. It was a good one. A really good one. And Doug.
Mm-hmm. Hey Arnold. Every kid wanted Hey Arnold's like fucking room with the skylight.
Dude, what a cool ass room. I never love that room.
Would that really exist though? That fucking big ass window.
Yo.
Remember Stoop Kid?
It was
Stoop
so
Kid,
freaking
never
cool.
leaves the stoop.
Stoop Kid never leaves the stoop.
Stoop
Kid never leaves the stoop.
Powerpuff
so what,
Girls.
Man? Leave stoop.
Powerpuff Girls made me laugh because they were just so violent. Sometimes Mojo Jojo would just be doing nothing at his home and they'll just come in and just beat the shit out of him.
Yo, because when you think about it, the Powerpuff Girls were the actual bullies.
Yeah.
Like, Mojo Jojo was just chilling. He would just be chilling.
I thought they were really funny, though. Just would be the
it was. I was Bubbles. I was Bubbles.
Everyone said
always.
I was Buttercup.
And you are so Buttercup. You are so Buttercup. You are. But then you could be Blossom sometimes.
I didn't really like Blossom though. She was like my least favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like she was like the more level-headed one.
She came off as like a know-it-all to me. And not in a way that was like cute or funny. She always was kind of like.
Well, I mean,
I always felt like she was always giving them shit, but she always made it sound a little more, I guess, eloquent than they did. And I don't know. She just reminded me of other people that I knew, and I didn't like her. That like little, I feel like a little smart.
She wanted to be the Beyonce of the group, you know.
A little bit, yeah. She was my least. I liked Bubbles because it just hey little voice, and then she beat the shit out of you.
I know. That's what I loved about her. I had a little Bubbles keychain growing up. I loved it.
Did you ever watch Gargoyles?
I wanted to be Buttercup.
It's the gargoyle statues that came to life at night, and then they turned to stone during the day. It was a more serious show.
I think, yeah.
Because it was on par with, like, you know, like, Batman and, like, X-Men and stuff. It was, like, a more serious show, but... also, it was on Disney Plus, and I tried to watch it. I tried to watch it, but I felt like there was episodes missing on Disney Plus, and I was like, this seems like it's not in order or something. I don't know what's happening.
I totally watched the show.
I used to love that show. I don't know why.
I liked it.
It was a more serious show compared to like other stuff that I watch. But I think
was it serious? Really?
A little. Yeah,
it was a fun time.
Yeah, I mean they had like any kid show. They still have like the comedy relief and stuff. But I mean, there's an episode where one of the gargoyles like finds a gun and he's just like playing with it and accidentally shoots someone. I mean, like. And he didn't mean to, and he felt terrible about it. Like it was a more serious show. It was because like one of I think my favorite animated series of all time, and I've told you this, is actually '90s Batman the animated series.
You have, yeah.
And then I don't know if anyone would agree with me. That's also kind of a serious show because, you know, he is a detective and he's fighting crime. I mean, Gargoyles was like, they were helping, you know, different people, and there's villains in it and stuff. So, yeah, and they had, like, serious subjects like don't play with guns. And shit like that. So.
I really like that show. I totally forgot about that show. And, like, as soon as you mentioned it, it triggered a memory of me watching it one time. Yeah. And, like, I remember the entire day.
But back to silly shows. Anything on Cartoon Network.
Dude. Oh, of course. Cow and Chicken. Ren and Stimpy.
Courage the Cowardly. Ren and Stimpy's Nickelodeon.
Oh, damn, it is. You're right.
Courage the Cowardly Dog. Johnny Bravo.
Courage the Cowardly Dog was scary as fuck.
I understand that, but
do you remember
I like scary
the Freddy
things.
episode?
Oh, yeah.
You remember the Freddy episode? Fucking terrifying.
It is a very terrifying show. It's shown through the eyes of a silly little dog. But I kind of like scary things a little bit. You know me, I like scary movies and stuff. Yeah. What else? You were gonna say something.
I meant this is not on Cartoon Network, but I was gonna ask you, did you ever watch Captain Planet?
Yes, I did. I always wanted a ring, and I'd be like, Captain Planet!
so fucking badly. I wanted a ring so bad. Like, was there ever a time that McDonald's sold the ring in a Happy Meal?
I feel like there was some sort of toy or something you could have gotten for Captain Planet. You know, that's a movie that I'm surprised hasn't been made.
Me too. I feel like it's in the works.
Hold on,
we just said it. We just said it, and it's gonna happen now. I know it. I know it 1,000%.
Let's see. Yeah, I definitely watch it. I watch a lot of like Animaniacs, and even though it's outdated,
me too.
My sister and I used to know that song about all the countries in the world by heart.
Because of that.
But I mean, it is technically outdated now. But yeah, for a long time.
Oh my god, yeah. Animaniacs. I love that they were just like that. The theme song was they played with the Warner Brothers sign.
Yeah,
like they were so fucking goofy.
They didn't bring it back.
Pinky and the Brain.
Oh yeah, of course. It's Pinky. It's Pinky and the Brain. Dexter's Laboratory, where everyone learned omelette du fromage.
Dude, that's the first piece of French that I learned. Thank you, Dexter.
Okay, this was a weird show, but I remember watching it, but I don't necessarily remember what happened. Do you remember this show, Angela Anaconda?
Yes.
Oh my god, I wasn't sure if you would remember. It was weird, but I watched it. I don't even remember what it was about, but it was weird because the animation style was so different. It was kind of like,
wait, what was it even about?
I don't know. I just remember thinking the animation was kind of weird, but I still kept watching it. I don't even know what it was about.
Me too. It was something about it. I just kind of like, it was one of those shows that had you hypnotized. That it was just kind of like, I'm just going to keep watching and see if it makes sense.
You know what I'm noticing about a lot of shows that maybe was telling of like our generation is that all of us had ADHD for sure. Because we watched the weirdest shows. Dude. Angela Anaconda, Cow and Chicken, Cat Dog, Ren and Stimpy, Our Real Monsters. These are like the most ADHD shows I've ever seen in my life.
Our Real Monsters was the shit though.
Yeah, that one was cool.
It was the shit.
Ed and Eddie, like they were just, you know, a lot of these shows too are like these little ensembles of like weird characters that just do weird shit. Like Ed and Eddie's just a couple of kids that just do shit around the neighborhood, you know?
Yeah. And they were just doing really
Cat Dog is a weird
cat
dog that's connected, but you know what they did? Just normal ass shit, but they're just weird because they're connected. Our Real Monsters is this group of monsters, and they do weird shit. Like it's just like groups of. Maybe this is also why so much of us like. I feel like, maybe it's not a millennial thing, but maybe it is. It's just I noticed that a lot of people, I guess didn't really learn till we were older, but like always needed to be around people. I mean, it kind of felt like because all these shows that we watch were always families and groups of friends doing random shit, and we wanted to go around and do stuff like that with our little friends. And it was always like I want to have little weird adventures with friends and stuff.
Same.
Kind of crazy.
Same for sure. I also I feel like there are a whole bunch of shows that I remember where kids would go on adventures a lot. Like, do you remember Chalk Zone?
Oh my god, yes, I loved Chalk Zone. I wanted to go in a weird portal to a different world. Or did you watch Dragon Tales?
Yes. Oh my god, Dragon Tales.
There was a lot of like
favorites.
Escaping to other worlds. Maybe that's why all of us also have like we always have to escape to somewhere else in our minds, or we gotta like
point Sabrina the Teenage Witch, the animated series.
I watched that too,
and the actual series. You know how many times I wanted to just open a portal to another dimension.
You know how much I wanted my black cat Midnight to talk to me. She also had.
I also had a black cat.
My cat had a very witchy name too. Midnight. Come on, Salem.
I had a black cat named Oliver. I feel like that could be witchy as well.
Sounds very. That's kind of cute. I like human name. Like, it depends on the human name, but sometimes it's just like kind of cute.
It does, yeah.
When animals have little human names.
I know.
Oliver's kind of cute.
I know.
I watched Oliver and Company, the movie, a lot, so that maybe that's why I think it's cute.
I watched it too. Oh my god. Yeah. What else was
the
like
Wild
an adventure?
Thornberries.
The Wild Thornberries was, oh my god, I wanted to be a Thornberry so badly, just so I could go on all these adventures. Like, and also the kids in that fucking show were so ungrateful. Like, are you kidding me? If I had a dad who would
Debbie
always
was the oldest sister,
take us everywhere, I'd be so mad at her.
Debbie was they made her like that stereotype teenager too. But I feel like if you grew up traveling like that with your parents, you would actually be very different from like the stereotypical teenager. Maybe that's what Eliza was, though. Maybe that's what she was.
I think that
she was the representation.
I think I wanted to be Eliza.
Fucking Donnie.
I want to be Eliza so bad. Braces and all. Donnie.
That was my impression of just noises. I actually, still in my head, and I wish I was still as cool as them, even as an adult, is Rocket Power. It's the whole reason why I had my mom buy me a skateboard when I was a kid and like would roll down my drive.
Oh my god, is Rocket Power the reason why you're a skater now?
I'm not a skater. I don't claim that. But yeah, do I like...
You're a skater. You're a skater, Lorrie. You be skating.
No. Yeah, Rocket Power... I wanted to do all the things too. Rollerblade. I had rollerblades. But yeah, all the wheeled things was a childhood obsession that I have. My bike, my boards, my roller skates. I wanted to do the like action sports stuff because I played sports, but I really wanted to do action sports because I remember when I was a kid, me and my like brother, my sister, because one year X Games were in San Francisco. And I remember we had passed by, like, the area where it was at before when I was a kid. And I just thought it was really cool. Granted, though, I'm extremely afraid of vert ramps. You know, those giant ramps.
Oh, my God.
And half pipes. I'm terrified
where they defy gravity?
Yeah, I'm terrified of those. I always wanted to be a street skater who, you know, when I would just be riding around the neighborhood and just, like, do cool stuff. But Rocket Power is the show that I was so obsessed with because I wanted to do action sports. Because I just thought it was so cool. I just thought skating was way cooler. I mean, all the sports I played, I enjoyed my time. Like, I enjoyed volleyball and basketball and stuff. But, yeah, I wanted to, like, skate. And when I was younger, I had less fear. Me and my friend have talked about this. Since I'm more aware of my body, and I feel like a lot of people feel this way, is that I'm more scared to do certain things because I'm like, man, if I fuck myself up, I'm gonna be fucked. But
I mean, when we're kids, we're fearless. We don't care. We're like broken bones.
Well, what is that? People always said to, and maybe this is true to an extent, like, oh, we just healed faster when we were younger. But I told this to you also, is that I think there is a, you know, truth about that to a certain extent, but at the same time, we also just, actually never let ourselves heal. The second that we felt better, we would go out and do shit again. And which is why old injuries will bite you in the ass later in life, by the way. I have an old shoulder injury I never really took care of. And an occasional knee pain for an injury I also didn't really take care of. And when I'm not active, like certain things ache because that's why they suggest you to exercise or be outside. I mean, you don't have to be like a gym rat, but like being at least a little active, and I barely have been the last few months. I've been so busy and stressed out that, you know, it's starting to ache. Old injuries you didn't let heal when you were an athlete. It's gonna fuck you up.
100%. I feel like ever since I started CrossFit, my body hurts less.
All right. Here, let's name off.
But anyways,
a few more shows that maybe we'll watch, and then I'll wrap it up. But
Rugrats.
Oh, we didn't. I thought we already said that. Yeah, Rugrats. I watched that a lot.
We didn't say Rugrats.
I watched that a lot.
That too often.
I even watched it when they like went to high school. When like
I was gonna say All Grown Up. I was gonna say Rugrats All Grown Up. I think Rugrats is the reason why I don't eat seeded watermelons.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Because I don't want a watermelon to grow in my stomach.
Bro. So
shout out to Chucky.
Yes, and remember the movie?
Yeah.
And they had that Reptar car. I have a little tank top that I have that has Reptar on it. But
Reptar.
I remember the movie.
My god.
Remember the tape was on, it was an orange VHS tape.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool. We all remember.
I saw a meme that said like, I want a Barbie movie about this bitch, and it was Cynthia just like sitting there like.
Well, I mean, basically, did you see Barbie? You watched it, right?
I did see Barbie. I finally watched
Weird
it. Yeah.
Barbie, basically. A lot of people are like,
Weird Barbie is Cynthia.
Basically.
Dude, Cynthia. Every time she would just kind of split. I'm just like, you're doing it so often. It's weird.
No, I thought it was very funny because every time she did it,
it was funny, but it was just like, oh my god, you are so weird, Barbie.
That's the point. There you go. It's so funny.
No, it was.
When
it
she
was
put
really
it up
good.
on the wall.
I liked it. Yo, yeah, when she was hiding.
I laughed so hard. Man. And then there's the things that I watched when I was younger I shouldn't have watched. And one of them is South Park.
Like what?
South Park. I watched the movie. My brother literally like brought me to watch the movie. That was like a rated R movie.
I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't a huge South Park fan when I was younger.
I love South Park.
And I still am not really. Like, I feel like everyone loves it and it's like legendary and it's iconic and stuff like that. But I was never inclined to watch it.
It was just one of those like cartoon shows too that were very for adults. And
right.
I also watched Beavis and Butthead. Also wasn't really for children, but it was like
me too. I watched King of the Hill a lot.
I mean, I need TP for my bunghole.
I watched King of the Hill. I had no business watching King of the Hill,
right?
And I don't know why I would, because I would watch it late at night because it would be on late at night.
This is why we all have fucked up humor, though. Are these shows?
Yeah, because it was some dark shit, right? It was
not just humor. That. It was also just adult humor, and we all have really While we all have our minds in the gutters all the time, but hey, I thought it was funny. Invader Zim was technically a Nickelodeon kids show, but it was a weird show and almost seemed kind of adultish to me. I mean, every cartoon show kind of has its innuendos and stuff, but like, I don't know, Invader Zim seemed real weird.
Yeah, I did remember it being a weird show. I remember watching it, and sometimes I just didn't get it, but I still watched it.
I'm just gonna shoot off a couple. I watched Jake Long, American Dragon, aka Dante Basco, aka Zuko.
Yes, baby. AKA all the AKAs because he was everywhere. I watched Braceface. I don't know if you remember Braceface.
Honestly, you mentioned the Sabrina the Teenage Witch cartoon, and I was gonna say Braceface.
And you thought about
she was
that
also
one.
Blonde and like
she was also blonde. Yeah. Princess was so cute. I loved it.
Adventures of Billy and Mandy. I watched a lot.
Yes.
Fairly Odd Parents.
Yes. Did you ever watch that show called Action League?
Action League now. It's part
Action League now.
It's part of a whole it's part of Kablam.
Kablam. I watched Kablam too.
Which was like a cartoon, almost like sketch show a little bit, because there was different shows in it, right?
Yeah.
Because it had Action League now and a few Melt Man with the power to melt.
Yes. Oh my god, yes. Wow. Core memory unlocked.
Kablam, I watched a lot. Yeah.
I thought Action League now was a show that I wasn't supposed to be watching.
That's what I felt about Kablam in general, because it also had very adult humor.
Yeah. Like, I was like,
yeah,
Action League now.
These little hosts, those guys.
Yes. They were so weird looking to me. It gave me like Ren and Stimpy vibes.
Yeah, and they had that other show with like this little girl with the pigtails, that they were like a fucked up family.
Yeah.
And Prometheus and Bob, that alien and the caveman. It was it also felt adult humory, but I don't know why.
It did.
To wrap up, I mean, we did discuss like, you know, how it affected, like some of these shows affected us in certain ways, like seeing more POC when we were younger. I think I felt like growing up, things were, where I grew up, I think both of us, you grew up in New York, we grew up in really diverse places, and I didn't really learn till later in life about like places that aren't. And to me, it always seems so wild. Like
for me, because I lived in the city, suburbia, like seemed like whoa, like out of this world. Living, like that was only like a TV thing for me.
City living was only a TV thing for me, like New York and
that's so LA. Crazy.
And I realized suburbs and also California is also like a TV thing for a lot of people who've never been. And
yeah.
I was just like, oh yeah.
So you had a certain like perspective on like New Yorkers or like city people and how they were.
Well, my cousin growing up in Daly City was so different from how we were living in the burbs, because my cousins lived in a small apartment with their mom. And we would visit them sometimes in Daly City, and it was a different vibe because like my cousin grew up taking public transit to school. I literally didn't take public transit until college.
Wow, that's crazy.
I had a license when I basically turned 16, mostly so my mom wanted me to grab groceries. And
errands. And just go on errands.
I had a part-time job when I was like 17. And stuff like that. And I would only visit San Francisco and Daly City and stuff. And so it was very different, seeing how my cousin was living, seeing how I was living. And they would come over in the summer a lot. So it was different for me. So living like that in a city and then thinking of New York, because so many movies take place in New York. And so I never thought I would be living in the middle of Manhattan, so...
Look at that.
Because I never wanted to live in San Francisco. It was just very funny.
Also, like, me and my family, we never really, like, traveled too much to too many places. Like, we really just went to DR and back home. So that's, like, all I knew, really. And I felt like somewhere like California seemed, like, so far out of my reach, or, like, so crazy for me to even think of even visiting, And, when I grew up, and like me and my mom and my brother, we left to New Jersey and stuff. And I kind of like felt like I was in suburbia, kind of. It's still like North Jersey, so it's not like too crazy. Yeah. But it still felt like, oh my gosh, okay, I live in the middle of nowhere, kind of. Like there are no trains.
It's very interesting that you find New Jersey to be the middle of nowhere. And you and I both have no experience living in places that are in the middle of nowhere, to be honest. Because when my aunt unfortunately passed away a few years ago, and it was in Missouri that the funeral was, so I was meeting my family over there, and I hadn't been in Missouri since I was a baby. They live maybe an hour and a half from the St. Louis airport. St. Louis? Is that the right airport? I might be completely wrong. But anyways, they're like an hour and a half from the major cities, you know?
You're right.
I was right. Okay, thank God. My sister picks me up. I think my brother and my sister. And so we drive to Ava, Missouri. That's truly, to me, like middle of nowhere for me, but they grew up there, so obviously they have a very different perspective. You know, I lived in New York, so they're like, oh, you live in like the city, and which is correct. But even being from California, they hadn't really been in California, which is like a different experience as well. One, it's very flat in Missouri. I mean, I guess New York is flat, but we have these tall ass buildings and stuff. Right. Truly middle of nowhere. I was like, where are we driving? Where even are we? And also meeting my cousins, they're like half Filipino. So their kids are only like a quarter Filipino. And we had to be the brownest people in this town. You know?
Scary.
I mean,
that's scary.
My aunt is lighter skinned like my mom. My mom compared to like me and my dad and my siblings and stuff, we all apparently took after my dad. We're a little more tan, and this is me not even that tan, and like, so she's a little lighter skinned, but you know, yeah, it was interesting. I mean, everyone seemed nice. I mean, everyone that we met were basically people who went to my aunt's funeral, so everyone was just nice. They knew my family. I don't know. I really don't know much about the town, so I don't want to talk any slander if I didn't. But it is a different experience to go to a place, because there are other brown people who grew up in small towns and other stuff. And so for me, this was such a weird experience, because again, even this small town stuff was stuff I would see in shows and movies.
Same.
And I didn't know anything about.
I don't want to say culture shock, but
I mean,
I feel like it's a bit of that, right?
If you're from a small town, it might be a culture shock to go somewhere else you've never been. Getting out of your hometown will most likely be a little bit of a culture shock. Maybe not a big one all the time, but maybe a little bit. You know?
Yeah. Especially like if you're moving from a city, or you're going from a city to a more rural area, it's gonna be a bit of like a what the fuck kind of moment.
I think TV shows too were like our getaway and escape to these places, because we didn't know about them. People's escape from maybe their own lives a little bit. And
yeah,
it's just interesting. I mean, this also, since we're talking about shows, it just put us into the fact that, there is a strike for writers and everyone, because I really don't think people realize the effect it has, because these people are providing us entertainment and always have. The pandemic, you're lying if you didn't touch or you didn't watch or interact with any sort of media, including just like books, games, TV shows, movies, everything. Even the people, including myself, who have to work for the streaming platforms, just people keep, I think, thinking about it as it's rich people asking for more money. I'm like, no, the actors who do get paid a lot are supporting the teams that they have had to work with,
and I think most people just also don't understand that, like, you could have a hit show, but the actors, the crew, everybody else besides the corporation that made the show, the network that the show is on, won't make that money. They're probably struggling at home eating cup noodles because like they're not getting compensated.
This is how I know,
rightfully so.
The second that when people start talking like that, I'm like, tell me you haven't worked in any sort of entertainment industry, marketing ever in your life. Because I worked in sport. People really don't know how things work, and it's really amazing to me how people just dissociate from certain things. It's just that you don't know how many people it takes to make certain things. Like me in sports broadcasting, I don't think people know there's like 100 of us putting on a live video, like a live sports experience. And there's a lot of moving parts to every sports game you go to, every live show, because I worked at a few concerts. And entertainment industry, I mean, we see stuff all the time of behind the scenes, and you can see all the people there. Like, don't tell me you've never been to Universal Studios and didn't go on the tram ride where you see all the people working everywhere. I mean, like, you know, I think people are like either in denial or really just don't associate the fact that there's a ton of people on the set behind the actor that's doing an interview right now that work on that set. This strike is for everyone. I mean, yes, it's about the writers because they're obviously like help to create these things, but then it's also supporting like unions that support like the film crews, all the light and grip people. I know quite a few people in the entertainment industry in like LA, and you know, it's a whole different beast of things. There's people everywhere. There's so much stuff they have to organize. Even me, who has been on just video shoots for marketing, which are so much smaller than a movie set. We still have, we have our director, our producer, sometimes a co-director.
There's a lot of moving parts. People. There's so many moving parts to it. Like, no matter how like short a film is, like a short film or like or whatever it is, like that 30-second commercial that you saw like that one time, it took a village of people to produce that.
Sometimes when I hate on certain media, sometimes I'm always like, this was dumb, but at the same time, someone had to do that, so I like respect it in a way.
Someone had to produce that. Someone had to execute that. Someone had to edit it. Like,
I mean, there's like the animation industry. There's constantly studios that have to close down or animators don't get paid, and they made a whole ass movie. I mean, there's that whole controversy with that movie, The Life of Pi, and the studio closing down that made that movie. All the visual effects artists who did it, Sausage Party, they didn't pay the animators. Basically, it's just they made that movie wouldn't exist without the anime. It's an entirely animated movie. So like it's incredible. People keep bringing up like the whole AI thing, and like, maybe they're just gonna start using it. But no matter how advanced AI is, I like AI for certain things, like some of the comedy stuff that I keep seeing, like people making funny trailers of like. I think it's great for concepts, for sure. Maybe some concepts, but also people have already tested AI for like writing stuff, and there's gonna be a ton of like spelling errors and like just things that seemingly don't make sense. You're still gonna have someone go through it and edit it.
I agree with you that. I agree with you in that like AI could be useful for a lot of things. Like, I mean, earlier I was writing a cover letter and AI helped me out with that. But I think
I hate cover letters, bro. I fucking hate them.
I hate them too. That's why I had the AI do it for me. But I feel like I agree. AI doesn't really understand nuance. I feel like there are things that AI can't really pick up on. I mean, and maybe it'll be more advanced later on in the future, but I still think that no matter what, you still need like human perspective. You still need that kind of that nuance that it just doesn't really pick up on. And I feel like that's why we need people. Actual people.
It's just so crazy. Like with all these writers, like shows have influenced us, have helped us in a lot of ways. Yeah. Like when you're trying to do an escape or if you want to relax, whatever you want to do, these movies and shows are things that we do want and need, and we consume life. Media, and it's just so crazy how people don't support like stuff like this.
We consume media like more than ever now because there's so much of it, and I feel like that's another reason why people don't really care about this right now, because there's so much on TV, there's so much on every platform and stuff. But wouldn't you still want to support the writers and the crew and everyone else that are behind these shows? Like I feel like when certain shows get canceled, people go to war for these shows. You know what I mean? Like that show Warrior Nun, people went to war for it when it was canceled.
I mean, a lot of shows in general, all the time.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Especially so Netflix kind of always be canceling.
I want to see that same energy. I want to see that same energy for everyone.
When it comes from people making these shows for you guys. Have you noticed that all these streaming platforms are starting to charge more? Disney came out with a new subscription thing. Yeah. That the bundle is now going to be like $25. And I'm like, why? Where's this money going? It's obviously not going to the writers and like the people who make the content for your platforms. At this point, I know cable packages that are cheaper, and I might just keep like Paramount Plus at this point. I might have to just get cable again because this shit's starting to get expensive, bro.
Like, I feel like at some point we're all gonna probably go back to cable.
But man, I don't know. It's just wild. Shows, I feel like, just we're such. I mean, I know there's people out there who maybe didn't really grow up watching TV and stuff, but for a lot of people, it was a nice thing to have. Do I think we consume media a little bit too much? Yeah, absolutely, including myself. I need to get off my phone once in a while, and I'd fully admit that. But it has been nice, and like all these writers and stuff, like just creating some of these like really cool things and stuff that gets canceled. Ugh. But it's just it's fun to see like what people can think of and like these things that we watch that are just really interesting,
Yeah. And again, I think it was our escape for a lot of us, especially us millennial babies. I think we grew up in a really good age for TV. It's the bulk of our nostalgia, aside from music and aside from movies and stuff. TV shows really were there. Like when our parents were at work, TV shows were there. Our TV parents were there.
I mean, even now, like since the internet is so big for the younger generation now, because most of them grew up on the internet, they consume media, and it's like, come on, guys. Yeah, I mean, as per usual, we didn't have an episode last week, but life happened and we had technical difficulties, unfortunately. But indeed. We're back every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. I don't know why I said it like that. Eastern time. I like emphasizing the wrong parts of words sometimes just because it sounds funny. What else? You can find us on social medias, the TikToks and the Instagrams at 30s Dirty Thoughtin, and we are on Spotify and YouTube, video and audio. Please like and subscribe. Please rate us. It'll help us out. We're still very small. And and our email. If you, I don't know, send us anything at this point. No one has, but at 30dirtythoughtin at gmail.com.
Every Lorrie's like, send us feedback, send us anything. Now send us whatever you want.
Send us
you can just send us a hi. Just HI.
Send me something funny. I don't know. Yeah.
Send us memes though, please. Thank you so much for watching.
Suggestions as well, if you want to.
Oh my God, please.
But yeah.
Please.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Farewell.